So, Thailand is making a massive bet for 2026. And the big question is, will this bet transform the country from just another tourist hotspot into a real global entertainment superpower? Let's break down the master plan.
Okay, so over the past year, you've probably seen these headlines popping up everywhere. Tomorrowland, maybe the world's most iconic music festival, announces it's coming to Thailand. K-pop superstar Lisa gets named an official tourism ambassador. And all the while, billions and billions of dollars are being poured into these huge new mega projects. I mean, on their own, each one of these is a massive story, right?
At first glance, it all seems like a bunch of separate, really exciting things happening. But here's the thing. What if they're not random? What if every single one is a carefully placed piece in a much, much bigger national strategy? Well, it turns out this isn't a coincidence at all, not even close. You know, what we're seeing in all those news stories? That's really just the tip of the iceberg. These events are just the public face of an enormous, fully coordinated national strategy they're calling the New Thailand, and it's a complete rethink of the country's entire economic and cultural future. See, this whole plan, this entire vision, it's all built on one single core idea, a philosophy that changes everything. And it's called value over volume. So, what does value over volume actually mean? Well, think about it. For decades, Thailand's goal was super simple. Get as many tourists in the door as possible. It was all about volume, volume, volume. This new strategy, it flips that completely on its head. Instead of just focusing on headcount, the goal now is to seriously increase the value and the quality of the experience for every single person who visits. It's a huge strategic shift away from a mass market model to something more like a high-end boutique experience. And this chart here really breaks it down perfectly. You can see the old model was all about headcount, and the main KPI was just the number of arrivals. Simple. But the new model, it's all about visitor value. The key metrics are now things like satisfaction and sustainability. It's a total overhaul of how they even measure success. And this whole philosophy is held up by 5 key pillars. First up, targeting new customers. We're talking higher spending travelers and families. Then you've got developing new products, like these premium festivals and wellness tourism. Next, they're forging new partnerships directly with global brands to guarantee quality. After that, new marketing that uses storytelling and cultural icons. And finally, brand new metrics that actually measure satisfaction and where the money is going, not just how many people show up. Every single pillar is designed to drive up that value. Okay, so you have this massive vision. How do you actually make it happen? Well, you start by building the foundation. The government is laser focused on creating what you could call the hardware. We're talking the physical infrastructure, the new laws, all the world-class venues you need to host these kinds of high-end experiences. And a huge piece of this hardware is the new Entertainment Complex Act. Now, on the surface, this law is about legalizing casinos. But if you look a little closer, you see the real genius here. The law actually forces any new complex to dedicate 90% of its space to family-friendly, non-gaming attractions. So the government is basically using this incredibly valuable casino license as bait. If you want the license, you have to build what Thailand really wants: theme parks, concert halls, and top-tier convention centers. And where they're building all this new hardware, that's just as strategic. Putting a monster event like Tomorrowland in the Eastern Economic Corridor, the EEC, was absolutely no accident. It's a central hub connected to 3 major airports with a high-speed rail on the way. It's got the massive open space you need for huge crowds, and, this is crucial, it's designed to make people stay longer, which boosts the entire local economy. And listen, it's not just happening in the EEC. Bangkok itself is getting a massive physical transformation. These mega projects, like One Bangkok, are literally creating a new city within a city. And their stated goal? To become the Times Square of Asia for major celebrations. It's all part of building the physical hardware for a totally new era. But you know, having all this amazing, world-class hardware is pretty useless if you don't have incredible software to run on it, right? So the next part of the strategy is all about installing that cultural software, the content, the events, the unique experiences that are going to pull in a global audience. And right at the heart of this cultural software strategy is the government's 5Fs policy. It's basically a plan to leverage Thailand's biggest cultural assets. We're talking about taking festivals like Songkran and turning them into global events, standardizing fighting or Muay Thai tourism, and pushing its world-famous food, film, and fashion industries on the international stage. And this brings us to one of the most powerful and fascinating pieces of software they have: the Lisa effect. And we're not just talking about a simple celebrity endorsement here. The government has actually formalized this. She's an official ambassador with a very specific mission: use her global star power to drive tourists to smaller, secondary cities, spreading all those economic benefits beyond the usual hotspot. The festival strategy for 2026 is where you can really see how all these pieces click together. I mean, look at this calendar. This is no accident. It kicks off with EDC, a massive beach party down in Phuket. Then, right in the middle of the year, you get Summer Sonic, which is a huge, weatherproof indoor festival in Bangkok. And it all wraps up with Tomorrowland, that immersive fantasy experience out in the EEC. 3 totally distinct festivals targeting 3 different crowds in 3 very strategic locations. So the scheduling is brilliant. It's designed to create a year-long festival season. By basically bookending the year with these huge events, they're creating this powerful reason for fans to come back again and again. It's a fantastic strategy to drive repeat tourism. All right, so we've got the hardware, we've got the software. Now let's put all the pieces of this puzzle together and really see the full picture of what the new Thailand is trying to become. Now, it's important to remember, the path to get here wasn't exactly a straight line. Back in late 2025, there was a moment where confidence was shaken after a few locally run festivals got canceled suddenly. But this actually led to a really valuable market correction, something called a flight to quality. What it did was it forced both the government and the tourists to lean on stable, trusted global brands. And that ultimately created a much stronger, more reliable foundation for the future. In all of this, every single piece, it's all driving towards one very, very clear goal. The target for tourism revenue in 2026 is a mind-blowing 2.79 trillion Thai baht. This isn't just about culture. This is about a massive economic engine, and it's been fine-tuned to hit that exact number. So really, it all boils down to a pretty simple formula when you think about it. You take the new hardware, the laws, the incredible venues, the infrastructure, and you combine it with the cultural software. The festivals, the icons, the stories, and together, that's the engine of the new Thailand. You know, every single piece of this plan has been designed to work together perfectly. The strategy is comprehensive, the investment is absolutely massive, and the ambition is undeniable. Which leaves us with the one big question. With all of these pieces now falling into place, will 2026 be the year that Thailand finally makes the leap from a favorite tourist spot to a true global entertainment superpower?